If you're new to Deception Bytes, hit the like and subscribe button and be sure to hit the bell to be notified of future videos. If you wish to support the channel, the links are in the description below. Now, fasten your seatbelt. Here we go. Okay guys, it is Saturday, January 5th, and it's 10:04 p.m. Eastern Time. And I told you that if I did the first part of the Q post, and I told you that if Q continued to post, that I would come back later this evening and do an update, and that is what I'm doing. So let's get into it. Let me see here. All right, and this is the next one. Picking up from where we left off in the last video, we come to this post here, and it has a picture of a pen. And remember, in the past, Q has always said, keep your eye on the pen, follow the pen. But in this one, he says something a little bit different. We see a pen, we see a watch that looks like it is at 3 p.m. And it says, will POTUS be at CD tomorrow? CD stands for Camp David. Will POTUS be at Camp David tomorrow? That would be January 6th, 2019. And yes, indeed, he is scheduled to be at Camp David tomorrow. And it says 1 year Delta. What does he mean by that? Well, 1 year ago, tomorrow, Q will have been at Camp David as well. So that is what he's talking about. It's the 1 year Delta. So 1 year to the date, January 6th, 2018, he was also at Camp David. And he says matters of national security. So knowing that Q often poses statements as questions, we can read this, that they are going to be discussing matters of national security. The clock is ticking. Follow the watch. Q. So in the past, he's always told us to watch the pen, follow the pen. Now he's saying to follow the watch. So I would assume that tomorrow or sometime in the future, we will have a picture posted with the watch at Camp David. I don't know, but I would assume so based on what I know about Q and how he's operated in the past. So just to remind you all, this is a post from 01/06/18, exactly 1 year ago. Well, it will be exactly 1 year ago tomorrow. And it says, look familiar, note the desk. Where is everyone this weekend? God bless. And then an anon responds, Camp David. And yes, that indeed is where they were a year ago tomorrow, at Camp David. Now, and again, here is this pen, and if I'm not mistaken, is that when the original executive order, the one that, that allows them to seize assets from human traffickers and so forth, is that when that was originally made? I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and look that up, but not exactly sure, but we know that it is pertinent. And here, I just clipped these from the headlines. Trump senior staff head to weekend retreat at Camp David. That was 13 hours ago. White House staff gathering at Camp David for retreat 6 hours ago. Donald Trump staff to hold weekend meetings at Camp David. That was 6 hours ago. And here from the Washington Times, Donald Trump staff to hold weekend meeting at Camp David. So we know that that is indeed the case, that they are going to Camp David. I believe that the pen is important because in the past he has said watch the pen, and now he's included the watch, and we are to follow the watch. All right, let's go up to the next one, and we get this. And again, Q is reminding us of an earlier post. This was posted December 11th, 2018, and it says, actually, forgive me, he's making reference to a post from December 11th that is also referencing a post from November 25th. I want to make sure that I get this right. Border security equals national security. Absolutely. probably fiscal year 2019 defense spending bill, budget overview, budget reconciliation. What if the House fails? What if the House fails prior to majority change? What vested authority does the Constitution grant a sitting president regarding matters of national security? Thank you, Mr. Soros. And of course, I remember this very well. I remember us looking this up, and he does have ultimate authority in matters dealing with national security. So that is good. He absolutely can go ahead and build that wall if he sees fit, which I think is a little bit, well, it makes me smile. Now, below this, he makes reference to a tweet by Maggie Haberman of the New York Times, and that again is a name that's come up and up and up because we know that she is someone that is kind of a, well, we'll see this in action because we're going to go and we're going to look at a Podesta email that shows her role, and she is particularly prone to they use her to kind of shape the news and the narrative. So we're going to see that in a second. And let me see here. I think I have clipped her tweet out just to make for quicker viewing. More on what at Costa reports is hearing Trump has been talking about it for several days, and White House counsel's office has taken a look at what is possible since the shutdown began, and Trump revived talk of this inside White House. And Maggie is making reference to this tweet by Robert Costa. Trump confidant tells me he's still talking today about declaring a national emergency if talks collapse, and he's getting encouraged by several of his friends on hard right to do just that, knowing it'll be challenged immediately. So, so she is responding to that. Now, let's go down, and Q is saying several days, because Maggie's saying, that this has been, Trump has been talking about it for several days, and Q is saying several days? No, it's been a little longer than that, Maggie Haberman. According to Q, what if this was always the plan? Well, Q is asking a question there, but he's probably making a statement that it has always been the plan. That has always been the plan. So why would he allow this to drag out if he was ultimately just going to declare a national emergency and build the wall anyway? Well, why would he do that? Why do you think he'd do that? Well, I think because it very clearly shows what the Democrats are all about and how they are willing to, run right over national security and our safety and security as American people. They're willing to forego that. They don't see any reason why we should have a wall, even though they know that there's illegal trafficking of human beings, there's illegal trafficking of drugs coming across, there's MS-13, there's any number of reasons why we need that wall. Anyway, Q says timing is everything. Why deploy vested powers of the office of the president under verifiable matters of national security when you can instead unveil America's true enemy? And that's exactly what he's doing. He is trolling them big time. That's exactly what is happening here. So it's always been the plan to declare a national emergency and build the wall. But he's saying, well, why go ahead and do that when we can just reveal to the people who their true enemy is? And that's exactly what this has served to do. Public awakening. And then we have the WikiLeaks Podesta email, and we're going to go out and look at that now. We have seen this before, but it bears looking at again because none of us have perfect memories, that's for sure. All right, and this is taken from the WikiLeaks Podesta emails, and this is, let me see here, it is from Jay Benenson and to Cheryl Mills, Huma, Gruncom, John at AL, whatever. So I don't know who all these people are, but anyway, let's read this as Q has asked us to do and wants us to look at. We are all focused on getting diversity, and we have to get there, but we also have a lot of big jobs to fill in the next few months, and I think we have to try to slow down our process. We have a handful of people right now, and given the leaks that are occurring in the last week, I actually think we have to shut down the process now to the 1 to 2 essential posts that need filling soon and build the diverse team we need from there. These stories will only hurt us if we are pushing hard and get too much chatter out there. I think we have to settle on what roles need to be filled immediately and limit our activity to that. If we can create a silent period for a couple of weeks and possibly slow down the press appetite, we can buy ourselves some space to fill in the team we want and need. This would be starving the beast instead of feeding it. I think as we continue to search, we have to have one person assigned to each post, talking to only the people we need to talk, and expand that search process when we run into a dead end. It seems clear that talking to multiple people is not a strategy for containment, and containment has to be a top priority for the next 6 weeks, I think. We face risks with either approach, but I think we have seen what happens when we're all reaching out, and I don't think that's getting us where we want. That was from Joel. And the next one looks like it's to the same people. There's a few different people in here. One of them is a John Podesta, and it says follow-up media call. Robbie claims he's 1/16th Apache, so we should be all set. Kidding aside, do we have any diversity we can point to at this stage? On January 13, 2015 at 9:28 p.m., Robbie Mook wrote "A Lot of White Guys." On Tuesday, January 13th at 9:19, Cheryl Mills wrote, "Nick, if we're going to share names or themes, we should strive for some diversity beyond gender in the lineup or focus." On January 13th at 8:36, Nick Merrill wrote, "Here's the draft of the memo for feedback, both attached and below. Earned media next steps. Objective: as media attention increasingly turns to 2016 and Secretary Clinton continues to move towards a decision, we want to be proactive in shaping a public narrative that does 3 things. 1, explains on our own terms who she's meeting and talking with, both in terms of potential campaign hires and policy advisors. She's casting a wide net, looking for the best talent and listening to people with bold ideas from across the party. Notably, she is specifically reaching out to progressive policy experts and to people in the Obama orbit, demonstrating that she is going to do things differently this time. She will be positioned to run a thoughtful, successful, forward-looking, and technological advanced campaign should she decide to run. Provides cover and context for recruiting the best people and appealing to those who are looking for signals about whether this is something they want to be part of. 3, begins to build energy and enthusiasm among Democrats for a forward-looking potential candidacy that will offer a bold vision for the future." And this is the important part: placing a story. Whoops, I always do that. Got trigger finger. Okay, let me see. Where was it? Placing a story. As discussed on our call, we are all in agreement that the time is right to place a story with a friendly journalist in the coming days that positions us a little more transparently while achieving the above goals. Who, for something like this, especially in the absence of us teasing things out to others, we feel that it's important to go with what is safe and what has worked in the past, and to a publication that will reach industry people for recruitment purposes. We have had a very good relationship with Maggie Haberman of Politico over the last year. We have had her tee up stories for us before and have never been disappointed. While we should have a larger conversation in the near future about a broader strategy for re-engaging the beat press that covers Hillary, Rodham Clinton, for this we think we can achieve our objective and do the most shaping by going to Maggie. Do the most shaping. Yes, shaping the narrative. That's exactly what they want her to do. What mechanically, the story will have three basic components. First, a list of names that we agree upon beforehand that we will give to a reporter on background, both policy people and campaign people. Second, some information provided on background that explains what is happening and why. And third, a quote on the record that affirms all of this in an official capacity, making clear that this is a sanctioned story. So, I don't see any reason to read on here. I believe that that's exactly what Q wanted us to look at, is Maggie Haberman's role in being someone that they can call on to shape the narrative that they want to project. So let's go back to the Q post. And let's go up here. So Q is quoting directly from that email. We have had a very good relationship with Maggie Haberman of Politico over the last year. We have had her tee up stories for us before and have never been disappointed. While we should have a larger conversation in the near future about a broader strategy for re-engaging the beat press that covers Hillary, Rodham Clinton, for this, we think we can achieve our objective and do the most shaping by going to Maggie. Now, this is interesting because Q is talking directly to Maggie here and says, you are not safe. You are not safe. Why would he say that to Maggie? Because she's been used in the past, and he's probably warning her that there are people, because of her role, that probably want her dead. And we know what happens to those that Hillary Rodham Clinton is finished with, don't we? Well, they get Arkansided. So this is directly a message to Maggie saying, you are not safe. Q. And we're going to go up to the next. And here, again, we're on January 5th, and he's got reference to an older post, and I've made it a little bit bigger below so that we can see it, although it's still not big enough and still blurry, but, you know, I can always try. This was a drop from December 11th, 2018, so not that long ago. And of course, it is dealing with the wall, and I'm having a hard time reading this. It was about the Red Castle, Green Castle, and the Red Castle is the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, and they are located in Green Castle, Indiana. So that's where Red Castle, Green Castle came from. And back then, it was kind of a saying that it would be the Army Corps of Engineers that would build the wall. So this has been in the works for a long time, and what we're seeing play out in the media is just a game. It's a game because Trump is trolling them and making them reveal their hand, making them reveal themselves as the enemy of the U.S. people, and people are ticked. They are ticked because, you know, they may say that most people don't want the wall, but that's a lie. That's a lie. Almost everybody wants a wall. Anyway, and here he is saying to Pelosi, you will not win. You didn't think the largest military spending bill in history, fiscal year 2019, wasn't going to indirectly include funding for the wall, did you? Learn the Constitution vested powers of POTUS regarding matters of national security. This was planned and forecasted as the border funding solution from the beginning. Anons had the proof long ago, but shining a light back then would have defeated the primary purpose of showing the public the real objective of Democratic Party of open borders and elimination of ICE, elimination of security, defend illegals over Americans, midterm elections. These people are stupid. Q. Let's go up and see what else he has to say. He's referencing this from December 11th, and then he says, how do you outmaneuver the obstructionists? How do you expose the obstructionists for what they really are? Enemy of the people. They are only now figuring it out. Q. So yeah, we were right when we said that, POTUS saying that, oh, Nancy Pelosi, she really deserves this. Yeah, he's trolling, and he's known that this wall would get built the whole time. But in the process, it has revealed to the American people who the Democrats really are. So his objective has been met. Very smart. Smart man. All right, and let's go up to the next post here. And we've got this. And Q is responding to this. I'm not sure where this was from, but it's from someone called Combat Debater. And it says, first 24 hours of the Democrats in power filed articles to impeach Trump, introduced a bill to kill the Electoral College, passed a bill to fund government without border wall, voted unanimously to go home just 4 hours after taking the job. Who's worried for our country? Well, certainly not the Democrats. That's for darn sure. They're not worried. And then below, Q has placed this picture, and it is from Breitbart. Democrat spending bill offers $12 billion more for foreign aid, $0 for border wall. And then you have Nancy Pelosi looking very happy about having the gavel. I'm sorry, that's a bad impression of her, isn't it? But the spastic hands, I don't understand that. Anyway, okay, and this Anon says, this one was really a step on their own dick. Well, I don't have one, but if I did, I certainly wouldn't want to step on it. All right. Now, let's go down further, and Q says, why do the Democrats always force Republicans to include spending bills for approval, billions of dollars for foreign aid? Who audits where the money actually goes? No one. No one. And we know that they use foreign aid for money laundering because he has said as much, Q has said as much, and not only that, but it goes to fund black ops operations and so forth. Probably these, the Antifa, George Soros, all that, not funding George Soros, but funding some of his pet projects. How do politicians become extremely wealthy while in office on government salaries? Well, that's something I'm still trying to figure out because they all seem to. I don't know about the Republicans, but it seems like, Pelosi, Waters, many of them have, multi-million dollar homes and huge, huge amounts of money. And where do they get all this? Could be because Obama, when he was in office, he actually okayed insider trading for Congress. Did you know that? I just found that out a couple days ago, and I was a little shocked. But yes, he did. So, how do politicians become extremely wealthy? Well, we've been asking that ever since Q first showed up on the scene. How do XYZ organizations remain funded? Well, that is how they remain funded. All these organizations, subversive organizations, that's how they remain funded. Now, there are two links here which I can't go to because the website has crashed, and Q addresses that in another couple of posts. I guess when he posted this, everybody went out to these links and it crashed the site. So, can't show you that. Why do Democrats only care about control and power? Power of the purse. Power equals protection. The wheel of corruption. Welcome to the con, Q. Yeah. And we're going to go up to the next one, and it is this. And again, he's referencing the website that has crashed, and says, why, for decades, has the UN encouraged donor countries to contribute 0.7% of their gross domestic product on foreign aid? The corruption infiltration at the top worldwide has spread like cancer. Listen again carefully. The Great Awakening. Q. And I'm thinking that this link here goes to that our movement. But let me check on that. I missed that link.
Our movement is about replacing.
So I'm not going to play this because it has music when it gets on further, and I will get a copyright strike. But if you want to see this video, and I highly recommend that everyone see this video, I've seen it many, many times and have enjoyed it each time. This video will get Donald Trump elected. If you search for that in YouTube, you will find it. So let's go back and so, and basically in that video, that is what Trump is talking about, this movement, this awakening, this, you know, to pull down this corruption at the very top worldwide. Now, we're going to go to the last post, and that is this. And an anon said Q couldn't get the page to load. And this anon is referring, of course, to those two links below, not this one, but let me see here. Show you which ones. So these two right here, the site crashed. Maybe that's something we can come back to in a future video once I'm able to look at it and see what it is. But Q, this anon said Q couldn't get the page to load, and Q responds and says 2.2 million attempted access within 1 to 2 minutes. Site crashed. Q. And this is a worldwide movement. There are people all over the world watching Q. And, you know, don't believe that the Democrats aren't watching Q. They are. They are. I can just about guarantee it. I can guarantee you that all the enemies of Q and all the enemies of Trump are watching Q. So this is happening worldwide. So no, 2.2 million in 1 to 2 minutes. That's astronomical. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there for tonight. That is all of the Q posts. If there are more Q posts tonight, I will bring those to you tomorrow. But for now, that's it. I hope you guys have a wonderful night, a good night's sleep. Stay safe, stay well, and I will talk to you all real soon. Thank you.